Good teams find ways to win. Bad teams find ways to lose. It's as simple as that. Cleveland is in a stalemate mode, okay? Winning at this point hurts their draft position. Losing just compounds the problem and gets people talking about jobs in the future. It's an awful place to be for an NFL franchise, but unfortunately, it feels like we've been here most years since 1999.
That we've had our offensive line, our coaching, Kevin Stefanski specifically, our special teams that were awful against the New York Jets, they came out and helped us lose this game today against the 49ers.
The Cleveland Browns just got obliterated 26-8 at home in front of their fans against the San Francisco 49ers team that's been more banged up than a demolition derby. And you know what the most frustrating part is? This wasn't about talent. This wasn't about Shedeur Sanders failing. This was about coaching. This was about preparation. This was about Kevin Stefanski doing what Kevin Stefanski does best, getting in his own way.
It's a joke. It's a joke. This franchise has become a joke, and I'm sick of it.
Okay, let's cut through the noise right now. Shedeur Sanders went 16 of 25 for 149 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 93.6. Those are clean numbers for a rookie in his second career start against a playoff caliber team in brutal weather conditions. He protected the football. He made smart decisions. He delivered when his number was called. And yet, Cleveland could only muster 8 points. 8. How does that happen? How does a quarterback with a 93.6 rating, 0 turnovers, and a touchdown pass result in 8 points? Simple. Your head coach is setting him up to fail. Kevin Stefanski has built a reputation as an offensive mind, right? That's supposed to be his thing. Play caller, creative, adaptive. But where was that creativity on Sunday? Where was the tempo?
A game like today, when the offense was a bit stagnant, they had issues protecting the young quarterback. I would love to see Kevin Stefanski utilize tempo. Go fast, change up the tempo a little bit, because if you look at Shedeur Sanders' collegiate career, he was at his best sometimes utilizing tempo. And the thing about
Exactly. Shedeur Sanders thrived at Colorado when they pushed the pace, when they went fast, when they didn't give defenses time to tee off on him. And what did Stefanski do? He slowed it down. He ran the same predictable plays. He put Sanders in 3rd and longs after failed run attempts and expected magic. That's not coaching. That's negligence. Let's talk about those sacks. 3 sacks for 34 yards lost. That's a massive number. And yes, some of that falls on Sanders for not stepping up in the pocket. But guess what? When your offensive line is getting manhandled play after play, when you've got no rhythm, no tempo, no quick hitting passes to get the ball out fast, that's on the coach. That's on Stefanski for not adjusting his game plan to protect his rookie quarterback.
about tempo, when you have concerns with the offensive line, it kind of gives them the upper hand when you're going fast, because now the defensive front, they can't just peel their ears back and just go, go, go. Now,
this is football 101. When your offensive line is struggling, you don't keep running long developing plays. You don't keep asking your quarterback to hold the ball and wait for routes to develop. You go fast. You get the ball out quick. You use screens, slants, quick outs, anything to neutralize that pass rush. But Stefanski, he just kept calling plays like he had an elite offensive line, like he had time, like his rookie quarterback wasn't getting hit every other snap. And don't even get me started on the fourth down decisions. Harold Fannin Jr., a tight end, taking a direct snap on 4th and 1? What are we doing here? This isn't 2015 Cam Newton. This isn't a goal line situation where you need power. This is a tight end who doesn't regularly take snaps under center, fumbling the ball and handing San Francisco points on a silver platter.
in the week of prep, it's not live.
Yeah.
So a tight end that's not accustomed to taking the center, the snap exchange from under center, you're not getting a realistic look because no one is going full speed. So
Stefanski got cute. He tried to outsmart the room, and it backfired spectacularly. You have Shedeur Sanders, A quarterback who's shown poise, decision-making, and leadership in 2 starts, and you take the ball out of his hands on a crucial 4th down to give it to a tight end? That's not analytics, that's arrogance. But it gets worse, because this isn't just about one game. This is about a pattern. This is about Stefanski consistently failing to put his players in positions to succeed. Look at the entire offensive performance. Cleveland had multiple drives into San Francisco territory and came away with nothing. No points, no execution, just stalled drives and wasted opportunities. The Browns had the ball in San Francisco territory multiple times and couldn't capitalize. Why? Because Stefanski's play calling went conservative, because he didn't trust his rookie quarterback to make plays, because he relied on a struggling offensive line in a run game that wasn't working consistently enough.
Continue to see him develop, but I can say this. In terms of the future preferences with the Cleveland Browns, I love what I'm seeing from out of Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah.
You look at Harold Fannin, he's going to be a big-time player.
That's coaching malpractice. When you're playing a team like the 49ers, a team with championship pedigree, a team that's better than you on paper, you have to take advantage of every opportunity. You can't go conservative. You can't play scared. And yet, that's exactly what Stefanski did. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, special teams. Gage Larvin muffed a punt that led directly to a 49ers touchdown. Harold Fannin Jr. fumbled on 4th down, giving San Francisco another short field. The Browns essentially handed the 49ers 14 points on turnovers and mistakes. But here's the thing, those mistakes don't happen in a vacuum. When your team is undisciplined, when your coaching staff isn't instilling fundamentals, when your preparation is lacking, that's when you get muffed punts and fumble snaps.
Because the Cleveland Browns team, all around on offense and special teams, disgusted me today. You're undisciplined.
Undisciplined football is coached football, or rather poorly coached football. The Browns have been plagued by penalties, special teams blunders, and mental mistakes all season. This didn't start against San Francisco. This has been brewing, and it all comes back to leadership. It all comes back to Stefanski. But here's what really grinds my gears. Despite all of this, despite the offensive line collapsing, despite the special teams disasters, despite the coaching failures, Shedeur Sanders didn't turn the ball over. He threw a beautiful 34-yard touchdown to Harold Fannin Jr. right before halftime. He showed poise under pressure. He showed the ability to lead. And the national conversation is still questioning whether he should start the rest of the season. Are you kidding me? What more does this kid have to do? He's outplayed Dillon Gabriel. He's shown better arm strength, better mobility, better decision-making. Gabriel had 6 games and looked lost. Sanders has had 2 games and already looks like the future. And yet, there's still debate. The reality is simple. Shedeur Sanders is not the problem in Cleveland. The offensive line is a problem. The special teams are a problem. And Kevin Stefanski, he's the biggest problem. Because a good coach adapts. A good coach finds ways to maximize his players' strengths and minimize their weaknesses. A good coach doesn't keep running the same failed game plan week after week. Stefanski had a chance on Sunday to showcase what Sanders could do with proper support, proper play calling, proper tempo. Instead, he handicapped him. He put him in 3rd and longs. He didn't protect him with quick passes. He took the ball out of his hands on crucial 4th downs. And then, when the offense sputtered, people wanted to blame the rookie quarterback. Let's be clear. The San Francisco 49ers are a better team. They're playoff bound. They have Kyle Shanahan, one of the best offensive minds in football, calling plays. They have weapons, they have a system, and despite being decimated by injuries, they still dominated Cleveland in every phase of the game. That was expected. What wasn't expected was for Stefanski to make it easier for them.
A tall task, not just for Shedeur, but collectively for Cleveland, because this is a better team than what they saw last week. That was a great matchup for a young quarterback to make his first start last week against the Raiders. But this is a playoff caliber team, a team that has championship-like aspirations.
So, yeah, it was a tough matchup. But tough matchups are where coaches earn their money. Tough matchups are where you scheme, you adjust, you give your young quarterback every possible advantage. Stefanski didn't do that. He called a predictable, conservative game and hoped his talent would overcome the 49ers. Spoiler alert, it didn't. And now the Browns are staring down the barrel of another lost season. They're out of playoff contention, they're evaluating their future, and the biggest question facing this franchise isn't whether Shedeur Sanders can play, it's whether Kevin Stefanski can coach. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Stefanski has had Pro Bowl talent on this roster for years and has consistently underachieved. He had Baker Mayfield and wasted him. He had Deshaun Watson, and that's been a disaster. And now he has a promising young rookie in Shedeur Sanders, and he's already failing him. 2 games in, and the pattern is clear. Conservative play calling, predictable schemes, failure to adjust, failure to protect. The Browns fan base is tired. They're tired of moral victories. They're tired of we'll get them next week. They're tired of watching talent get wasted because of coaching. And they should be, because this team, even with its flaws, is better than 8 points at home.
This game is much closer if you don't muff that punt, if you don't fumble on 4th down in your own territory from Fanning. So,
absolutely. Clean up the mistakes, and this is a competitive game, maybe even a winnable game. But those mistakes are symptomatic of a larger issue, a lack of discipline, a lack of preparation, a lack of coaching excellence. So where do the Browns go from here? Well, Stefanski has already confirmed that Shedeur Sanders will start next week against Tennessee. Good, that's the right call. Shedeur Sanders deserves the opportunity to develop, to learn, to grow. But he deserves more than just playing time. He deserves a coach who will put him in position to succeed. He deserves an offensive line that can protect him. He deserves receivers who can get open. And he deserves a game plan that plays to his strengths. Will he get that under Stefanski? Based on what we've seen, it's doubtful. But here's hoping. Because Shedeur Sanders might just be the future of this franchise. And if Stefanski can't figure out how to maximize that talent, then maybe it's time for Cleveland to find someone who can. This wasn't Shedeur Sanders losing a game. This was Kevin Stefanski failing to coach one. And if the Browns want any hope of salvaging this season or building for the future, they need to figure that out fast. Because right now, they're wasting a promising young quarterback on conservative, uninspired, outdated coaching. And that's the real tragedy of Sunday's loss. The Browns didn't just lose to the 49ers, they lost to themselves. And that falls on one person, Kevin Stefanski.